What's poppin'? Yes, you are linked into another show with House of Harlem TV. We got royalty in the building. That's right. Before we give an introduction, I want to remind you guys to make sure you subscribe if you haven't. Make sure you hit that like button because you want to stay locked into one of the hottest shows out. Without further ado, tell me what your name is, where you from.
You already know it's your boy Last Top Dawn. I'm from the Bronx. Shout out to House of Harlem and my sister Kia. Thank you for having me here.
Man, it's an honor to have you, man. Big things. We keep getting these heavy hitters, these intelligent brothers in these seats, and sisters. We got to see more of the sisters. But I'm just so excited. It's like I have goosebumps, man, because I have so much to talk about with you. You know, you come from the Bronx, right? That's like cousins. You know, Harlem and the Bronx is cousins.
HBO, baby.
It's one and the same, to be honest with you.
That's right.
Right? And you definitely have been in the rap game for a very long time. 9 years young?
Yes.
I don't want to say old, because 9 years is not old. 9 years young. You know what I'm saying? That's a very long time. You were in the streets, you know. We all been through some things, right?
Yes.
In the Bronx, surviving, learning how to live, you know, hanging around the OGs. So at 9 years young, what was you thinking? I mean, did you actually write something down at 9?
I mean, yeah, I kind of like had like 2 notebooks already kind of like filled, and I was like going like Bronx blocks like with a boom box. Like shout out to my brother Spotty, and we were like actually battling other guys on blocks.
We got some footage of this?
Yeah, I have footage and things like that.
Okay, now I'm gonna have to pull out the footage next time.
Yeah,
What?
the next time, yeah, definitely.
What? This 9-year-old baby over here got papers, got bars?
Yeah, I had bars. You know, I started off, you know,
Wow.
with some of my friends just ciphering, and then my friend Spotty bought me a boombox. That's really what started.
Shout out to Spotty.
Shout out to Spotty, and then we started going block to block, and he was like, you know, let me hear what you got.
So you was like a little Bow Wow in the streets real quick. I mean,
Yeah.
well, Bow Wow don't really, you know, rap like that, but still, he was a baby.
Yeah.
And a game where he, you know, went around some big boys.
Yeah, shout out to my brother Bow Wow, Shad Moss.
Man, shout out to him, man. So, did you feel intimidated at that time? Was you scared, or did you have this confidence? Like,
Nah, I kind of had this confidence because, like, I was the leader, like, out of the little group. You know what I mean? So, like, everybody was looking up at me. They like, yo, you got to have some dope stuff. You know what I mean? If you're going to be the leader. So, I kind of, like, was always stepping up. It was me and my 2 other friends. Shout out my brother Alan. Love him to death. I remember when me and him first started, you know, that's A-Perp the General. They'll hear him later on my conglomerate and things like that. But, yeah, I still actually, unlike other people, I still actually have contact with him today. We still best friends and, you know.
Come on, man.
Gompies and all that, like, still right now, you know what I mean? Shout out to my cousin, he's in the crowd and all that. You know, we all started, you know what I mean, from when we was like 9, 10 years old, and we're still together right now, you know what I mean?
So they were 9 and 10 as well?
Yeah, they were 9 and 10. Basically, when they were 9 and 10, my cousin, basically, when he was coming up, he was always the brains behind everything. He's the one who develops and does all the clothes, the merch. Shout out him, MG Styles, you know what I mean? I'll tell y'all see clothes from everything.
I'm telling you, these brothers are intelligent.
Yeah, you know, and then my brother A-Purple, he was always like the finance guy. You know what I mean? He was always the guy that like, yo, I know how to lucratively make money.
We're going to make the money.
So when when he saw that, you know, okay, he had rhymes, but then he was like, bro, you're like serious. Like, I want to kind of like take you to a different level. You know, I started to listen to him, and that's why we still connected to this day. Shout out to him.
So you mean to tell me at that young, you had an actual team, literally, where you had the finances done, you had merch on board and the music?
Yeah, we were making like...
You never hear that. You don't hear that
Yeah,
too much
like we were
that.
making like funny little like shirts and stuff like that. The 163rd shirts, where we from. Shout out to 163rd and Simpson Street.
Out,
you know,
man.
We were calling ourselves CAN, the crazy little boys. You know, we thought we had everything on smash. You know, we looked up to everybody. You know,
y'all was babies doing y'all thing.
Babies
y'all were
doing
entrepreneurs, whether you knew it or not.
Correct.
That's right. Go ahead. Let's get to it. So y'all was ready.
Yeah, we was basically ready, and you know, it's kind of funny to this day because now we done reinvented. Of course, there's a lot of different things now, but it started from that ground level.
Man, I've heard a lot of stories of how people started, but that's the first of that right there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That is the first. Now, obviously, things transpired as you were going up or whatever like that. So obviously you really, really know a lot about the business of things because, you know, you 9, that's young.
Correct.
And to have that thought process, you know, at least one of y'all, all of y'all, because no matter what, this person has to convey this information to this person because y'all a group, right? So y'all had a business thought process.
Correct.
Has anything changed from that time to now? Because you're an OG.
Yeah,
You're considered OG in the hood, right?
of course. Yeah, I'm considered
Okay.
double OG in the hood
Double.
now. I ain't
That's
even
what I'm
gonna lie.
talking about.
Yeah,
Double
I'm like the
OG.
big homie's big homie and your favorite rapper's
Oh.
favorite rapper. And I mean, what happened to well, you know, basically the relationships and the bonds always stood the same. What happened was, you know, we started to get publicized where we actually start to say, you know, my cousin wound up becoming, you know, a great designer. You know, he still makes music, of course, to himself. He does his R&B thing on the
Right.
side. I wound up, you know, getting signed to a major afterwards. You know, this is my second deal that I'm on. A lot of people don't know. Shout out to Cuban Link. You know, I was interviewed by him at 17. You know, I worked with Money Man and, you know, Thor from Terror Squad. You know, I was with the House of Representatives. I did that. And those are always my brothers, you know. But sometimes creatively we grow. So after growing, you know, shout out to my brother now. I'm with the infamous Amadeus and I get Adam Records, you know, and Rival Distribution, you know. And now we at a complete different celestial level. You know, now I know the ins and outs of the business away from just being an artist, you know, on an executive level. I own my own imprint, my own publishing company, you know. I know how things actually run, you know. I have my own artists. I have things away from that. And, you know, away from being an artist, I do many different multi-services for artists. Like, people don't even know I'm a writer in the magazine. People don't know that, you know, I run and coordinate different things on Live 89. You know, yeah, of course, you know, I'll definitely do that for you. Yeah. And I do a lot of different things. I tell a lot of people, go to my website, www.topdogempire.com. You know, get in tune, you know, book a consultation. We do things, all kind of things, like things for artists. You know, we try to put you on. We show you different platforms that we have, even access to 2,700 billboards, you know, across, you know, the United States and even Dubai. You know, shout out to Amadeus and all the things he's done. So I've been blessed, you know. Away from that, I got put behind one of my best friends and one of the gurus in this industry to teach me the ins and outs away from just being an artist.
Wow, that is like, I mean, a triple bio. You know what I'm saying? But it's expected for somebody who started so young in the game. Well, who were some of your spearheads? Like, y'all were little, 9 and 10 years old. You know, who were some of the spearheads that kind of get you to where you at right now, as far as the elders, like as far as OGs?
Well, definitely rest in peace. You know, one of my best friends, Capone. I'll never forget him. My brother Al Capone. You know, he brought me to Cuban Link. You know, when I was 17. And I'll never forget, you know, he got to be able to let me spit for him. And, you know, afterwards, after he brought him to me, he told me I was a breath of fresh air. And, you know, to this day, you know, shout out to him and his family. Of course, condolences. Afterwards, you know, it just brought out the inner animal. So I would say it was him, because right after that happened for me, you know, my single got played on Hot 97. People started to gravitate towards me. You know, a lot of people don't know away from that, you know, I have royalty in my bloodline and things like that, and that I ghostwrite. And, you know, I've written for plenty of other artists in the game as well, too.
Let's talk about this royalty, because that was the introduction. You are royalty. Royalty means that, you know, your people paved the way and you continue.
Correct.
They pass the torch. Now, who are some of the people that you know, are just the big heads, and, you know, I say big heads in your family?
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, one of them, rest in peace, to my uncle Arsenio Rodriguez. A lot of people don't know that I'm Cuban and Puerto Rican, and you know, he's the most famous Cuban singer in all of Cuba. They have a Bronx Street renamed after him on Dawson and Kelly Street, and the reason they renamed it after him was because he made music in the time where black people were getting lynched, and you were judged by the, you know, skin color that you were. And he came here to New York, basically in the United States, and went to the Bronx and performed in a nightclub called the Tropicana nightclub at the time, okay, even before the color barrier was actually, you know, created and all of that, and actually set the tone for African American and Afro-Congo music, and actually set the Latino culture and everyone to be able to keep going. He was also, you know, so big, he performed with people like Celia Cruz, like, you know, Tito Puente, all the people that you could possibly think about, you know, Willie Colon, all these other people. And then away from him, he created a band. So it was called his conjunto, which is in Spanish, the band. So in the band, he had my other uncle, which is Alfredo Almentro's Chocolate, you know, right in front of Taino Towers. You know, the street is renamed after him. You know, he was an amazing saxophone and jazz player. And, you know, coming up, rest in peace to my mother, Xiomara Travieso. You know, she traveled the world along with them, too, one of the biggest analysts and people out. And, you know, music was just in my bloodline. I grew up listening to their music, listening to Gerald Levert and, you know, all different kind of music. Shout out to my mentor and my uncle, you know, Peter Shue. At the end, you know, he influenced my life as well, too. You know, so I just come from, you know, basically royalty and the musical bloodline and destiny. And, you know, they were the dons, and you could look it up even on Google, Wikipedia. They were considered the dons and fathers of, you know, salsa and Afro-Congo music of their time. So I developed the name The Top Don for carrying on the legacy of being a don.
And when we talk about Black History Month, these names should be mentioned.
Correct, all the time.
And this is we got to make sure Black History Month. You got to we're going to personally make sure we put out your ancestors' information and let the world know, because it's just at such a small level to me. We already know about the Malcolms and the Martins. We got to know about our other ancestors who paved the way. You know what I'm saying? Because that preceded the people that we do know. You know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, that right there is a really great story. So you were destined to be in the music, just like point blank and period. Like it was destined. So it's in your bloodline. Of course, you're going to be the best at it. You know what I'm saying? And then you got mentors like Peter Shue. You're trying to slide a little bit off with that. You know, I want to bring that back real quick because that's an OG that was on this platform.
Yeah, shout out to Uncle P. A lot of people don't know. I tell them, go listen to my album, Success in My Path, Volume 1. It's spelled SVCCESS. Yes. And shout out to Gorilla Tone because we got sponsored by Success Clothing.
Right.
On there. And, I have a skit on there, with Uncle P shouting me out, which is legendary, Uncle Peter Shue on a skit or interlude. A lot of people don't know about the 1% Brothers or, even being about that, and I'm grateful for all his teachings and all his blessings and everything that he's brought forward.
And he really do, because even with my children, they call him Uncle P. Any child that he comes across, he speaks to them. He really do that, and and that's what I respect about you guys. Y'all have some just this ambiance with you guys. Y'all have great personalities. Y'all not stuck up. Y'all all about your community. Although you are the great of the great. But you still have some sense of humbleness to you, and I really appreciate that. So now you're OG, right? And Jay-Z, I just love this guy, man, in so many aspects, right?
Yes.
And I think he's 51 years young. I still believe that he's young. Do you feel like there should be a limit as to how for artists when it comes to continuing to do music? Do you feel like there's a limit of age? When you get to a certain age, do you feel like you should stop doing music? Is there a limit?
No. I don't feel that there should ever be a limit, and this is the false prophets and the false litigations that you hear from people.
Okay.
The problem is that people forget that this is an art. You understand what I'm saying? Along with being a business, this is an actual art and this is a culture. All right, look at it the same way as painting. When you created a Basquiat, if the sculptor or the painter was 75 years old or 85 and came from Europe, you wouldn't question that. You're questioning and asking the work ethic and what's actually being done. So remember, that's why rest in peace to, masters of ceremony like MF Doom that, go and move away, what an artist has to actually look like and worried about,
Big facts.
That. Too much in this world, the people are worried about, what the artist should look like, what he should sound like, how many, likes he has on Instagram or what all of that. Limitations. And, shout out to Shampoo and, the Drink Champs and all of them up there. I was interviewed on there and they asked me a question on my album because my album has, 22 songs on it, sis. So they asked me, the content. Why would you give so much? And I told them because I'm a real master of ceremony. And I'm not worried about what other people are worried about what they're doing on their projects. I'm giving you me. So sometimes you have to learn how to give them you. And they forget that as a master of ceremony, that when you gave them music, it was the music that you was giving them. It's the same thing like art. I look at it like Picasso. If he painted and sculpted this, I might want it just because that sculpting looked in that way or measure. If I alter it, then I messed up the article.
You mess it up. Woo! I gotta give it to you, man. Y'all hear that? So it doesn't matter what age you are. Basically, that's just a number. Do what you love to do and make sure you do your best. You know what I'm saying? And don't let people put their expectations on you.
Correct.
I believe Jay-Z had mentioned that about, his uncle saying he would never sell 1 million records. And it doesn't mean that they have malice behind it. It's just that people can't imagine that actually happening. You know what I'm saying? They just can't see that far. Correct. You know what I'm saying? And for somebody like you're going to take it all the way to the top, right?
Yeah, extreme measure to the top.
So, you're a rapper, right? Do you consider yourself a rapper?
I consider myself more than that. I consider myself a master of ceremony. Most rappers are just rappers that how do you say, recite off of a beat. I do more than that. I'm sorry.
I can't wait to have him in. Yeah, master of ceremony. That's a T-shirt, right?
Yeah, of course.
You got that already, right?
Of course.
All right,
and people forget master of ceremony. Master of ceremony is not just only in music. I'm literally a master of ceremony. Master of ceremony is people that also practice their religious beliefs, also that practice what they preach, and being able to bring forth other, true upbringings. And I do that. A lot of people don't realize, away from being an artist, I work heavy in my community. I have my own LLC, my own company called Rich Family Marketing. I have my own actual office and location in the Bronx. I'm employing people, at the same time, and giving them opportunities. So, let's really talk, practice, and preach, and being a mogul entrepreneur. We're really doing that.
That's very important.
Yeah.
So now you have your LLC, right? You rap, right?
Yes.
And you're an artist, and you do many things, right? You got your clothing line.
Correct.
You got a lot of things going on.
Correct.
How important it is, because to really understand this business. Because now, when you say business, explain to me what that is. Are you supposed to read a contract and know what it is? Are you supposed to have a lawyer on site? Like, what are the ramifications? Because people are getting stuck out here.
Well, that's kind of like why I draw people and tell them to go towards my website, right? The reason why I tell them that is because I've learned that, and shout out to everybody in the world, artists, people I know, the human brain only fathoms, what is able to grasp at a certain level and degree. So when you start to speak to people, remember, you're bringing them into genres, you're bringing them into entertainment law, you're bringing them into a batch and whirlpool of things that, we're not commonly taught. Just alone in school, we're not taught financial literacy. So you can't expect the most common person to be educated in entertainment. So what winds up happening is, 90% of music and its ethic background, you have to break it down to people. So I kind of do it in consultations, the reason why I say it. And the reason why I say it is because I break down to artists their artist identity kit, performance right, organizations, entertainment law, how you go about your things, what is it to actually file. Like, most people don't know. I hear a lot of artists when I tell them, okay, I made a song. I'll give you an example. Okay, I made a song today. I put it on DistroKid. Okay, that's fantastic. Did you file it? Did you file with the Library of Congress? Did you know what it was? Are you part of the Harry and Fox agency? Did you do this? Did you clear the sample? Did you know? You understand what I'm saying? You understand? Like, that's what I'm saying. We get real in depth with people, and then when I get real in depth, I explain to them everything, and I guide them almost like a liaison. So I guide you to that. And the reason why I usually don't speak in that realm is because most artists don't grasp that and usually don't have a budget and realize that in this music entertainment industry, it is 90% business, okay, and 10% music. So remember that people are not going to move for you in a corporate office or setting without a budget. So there's no point in a consultation or conversation if you don't have an investor. If you don't have an investor or a budget behind yourself, most people want to go for an investor. But think about it to yourself. In this day and age, we're at the highest peak where people are making the most money, where you don't need an investor. Why? Because you have people making money off of cryptocurrency, self-made businesses. There's many different ways and different. I specialize in marketing. So away from that, I try to explain to people it's hard to grasp everything. But when I give a consultation, I almost make it like dummy proof, like books for dummies. So that way I can give it to you easily and break it in sessions.
Right. But it don't hurt to have more than one consultation.
No, of course not. Of course not.
Like you're telling me this, I know I'm not gonna. I have a short attention span, so I'm gonna have to come to you a couple of times.
Of course, yeah, that's the way it is. But the problem is that what happens is people don't gravitate towards that. People gravitate towards when you are helping them. They think that you're their friend, and yes, you can be their friend, but it's still a business and entertainment, and business has to come first. So that's why things get misleaded and misguided. Like I see a lot of artists right now. I'll give you an example. You go to Instagram, and they're so accessible to grab an artist. Yes. For me, I'm not accessible. Remotely, if you go to my Instagram, it's not even ran by me. Right. You understand what I'm saying? You have to go through channels and levels to be able to do certain things, and that's the way that it has to be.
That it should be that way, even for us as a show. People need to be handling your accounts because you need to be moving and doing what you need to do in your business.
Correct. Your business should be always on autopilot. And shout out to my team and everybody that's with me the whole I get out of and everybody behind me. Shout
out to the teams. We got to give them their credits now while they're living. Shout out to the team because, team make it work. You know what I'm saying? So that right there is some heavy stuff. And definitely I recommend everyone to go out and get a consultation with the best of the best. What he just broke down, I didn't even know about. You know what I'm saying? I try my best to do my due diligence and do my research about that. But obviously there's a lot into that. You know what I'm saying? And you just gave a little snippet of it, so obviously they're going to have to go and get
of course, after the show, I'll make sure I'll give, you a link to an entertainment law book that people can educate themselves away from that before we start speaking about, what surprises I got for you in music and what songs I got right now,
See,
I'll tell you that in a minute.
When you start giving me books and stuff to enhance my life, that's what's important.
I'm a heavy reader, so heavy, very heavy.
I love it. When you stimulate someone's mind, that's the best thing you can do. So, obviously, you're into the books. You did your a lot of your research and stuff like that. Do you feel like there's always going to, when it comes to the business, right, things are always going to constantly change? Because I listen to Cameron, and it seems like there really isn't no need for a major record label. You know, you may just need a little distribution if you have a large following, because the social media thing is different.
Well, correct. He said it best. You know, shout out to Cam. That's one of the mentors that I look up to. You know, not only as far as music, as far as swag and drip and everything. So
the drip is good.
Shout out to the big homie. What, you know, he basically broke it down at the end. At this day and age, remember, people are kind of like children. You know, they're tangible. So once people see something they like, they want it. So remember, once you're likable on social media, everybody's like mind warped already. So they're like, oh my God, you're the next best thing that's coming out smoking. You get what I'm saying? So in all reality, remember, back in the days, that's what the labels and the media press would do for you. You would pay these people. All right, so that way they can make the accolades and articles and headlines, so they could publicize you, so they can say, "Oh my gosh, shout out to Kia," you know what I mean? Like, she's lit right now. Like, let's get it. Look, the hair, the do what, she's looking fabulous. Like, are you kidding me? Right. Then you see your article posted, and then they see you might be on the next bill or the next party that might be going on. You know, so once they see that, and then they start to see traction, then people gravitate towards you. So what do? So what that does is that eliminates what you call the budget that the label needs for your articles and press. I mean, you're eliminating almost like $50,000 to $60,000.
That's a lot. That's a big
deficit. Big percent, you know?
Right. So some of that stuff just need to be cut out. Obviously, he know what he's talking about, and you guys make sure y'all go and get these consultations. Now, are your consultations limited to just the rap game? You know, because obviously there's people doing podcasts.
No, we do consultations.
We do consultations.
Correct. We do consultations for everything. That's why we break down divisions and times in the schedule. If we do that, we do branding. Remember, we do brand ambassadoring. We do everything that might be needed to help you improve your business.
Man, this is the best of the best. Well, let's get back to the rap game.
Let's get it.
Now, you do what you do the best. Like, who do you do you compare yourself to somebody, or do you have someone that you kind of like idolize, or say, you know what, I'm
I mean, yeah, I have my top 5. I always got my top 5 and my top 10.
Now I'm about to get the top 5. I was going to ask, but go ahead and tell me the top 5.
I mean, the top 5, of course, definitely Big Pun is on there. I'm definitely going to give it to, I'm definitely going to give it to KRS-One. I'm going to give it to Coogee Rap. I'm going to give it to Big L. And I'm going to give it to Black Thought.
Black Thought.
Yeah, facts.
What? I listened to him some time ago.
Yes.
I was like, what?
He is one of my hands down favorite and
most. A lot of people say Big L.
Yo, low key, underrated, super dope, lyricist, artist. I mean, the brother.
He's fire.
Yo, he
just please go listen to Pun and him on Super Lyrical. I don't have to say no more.
Yo, I'm telling you, your life that might change your life.
That might change your life, you know what I mean?
So how do you determine that? Because you got the old school generation, you got the young school generation. People would go, no, it's the Migos. And shout out to them, because the way they do this, their new thing now is they have their own little style. But like, how do you determine who is? Do they have punchlines? Do they have substance to their stuff? How you determine your top 5?
Well, for me, it's kind of different, and I bring it to the House of Harlem. For me, rap is like boxing. You understand what I'm saying? Ooh. So I put it in weight divisions and classes and genres. You understand? Now, just like rock and roll, you have rock and roll genres. People don't realize you hear drill, right? Like when you say into all these people that you hear, even Migos, you have melodic, you have this, but there are different genres of music now. So you have to place them within that realm and genre. This is what we speak about. So I place everybody in the category and realm of music that I see the target of audience that they target. So remember, you have certain people that are masters of ceremony. So when you look at boom bap, hip hop, rap, you understand what I'm saying? That's a certain genre. That's a certain category you would look at.
Right.
So me, I lean towards more that. I lean more towards the hip hop original boom bap sound. Of course, I'm multi-diversional. A lot of people are multi-diverse that can accolade to any style or beat, but I'm like that. I even, can freestyle off the mind or whatever. It doesn't matter. I know a lot of different artists that can't. Some people get writer's block, some people are different. But that's how I categorize it. Why? Because everyone is in a different category and division and brings a different substance and aura.
Right. You're multi-diverse, and I was going to ask you that. Do you feel any type of pressure being the OG to have to compete with this younger generation who seems to be having a buzz, who seems to be getting to the back, who seems to be multi-talented too? Because a lot of OGs would say they ain't saying much, but I started to listen to them, and there's a message into some of their stuff.
Yes.
There's a message. They're still talking about their pain. They're still talking about their struggles, even if it's hard to really hear. But they're saying some
With
stuff.
me, I feel I'm different from the other OGs. A lot of the other OGs want to stick to their realm, but I'm kind of like the Canelo in music. You feel me? Like
So you could do that drill.
I could do that. Like I got drill songs right now. I got a new drill record coming out. It's me, Stunner Dior, and MBZ. You know,
Right.
Produced by DJ Verdict. Like I got so much music that people will start to say that they're like, wait a second, I didn't even know he was an OG. And then I have like people that are gravitating to their sound right now. Thank you, I appreciate that. You know, that's when you take care of yourself and stick to that CMOS. You know,
saying OG, and I'm like, I don't really see that.
When you start, you know, seeing the younger crowd gravitate towards you and pushing towards you, like, yo, what's up, OG? What's up, big bro?
Right.
Like, I want you on this record. Then obviously that must mean that you're keeping in the realm of what today's sound is. You understand what I'm saying?
And
so
you can keep up. You can rock.
and
with
you
them.
can keep up and rock with them. So I guess I'm blessed. You know.
Wow. So you don't limit yourself at all. It's just keep evolving, keep going, and keep growing.
Correct. Yeah. Like right now, when people hear the new records that I have, like I have a record right now with me and Corey Guns. Shout out to Corey Guns, all the Young Money.
Corey, yes.
Produced by Cover from Tommy Boy Records, called I'm Coming. Then, you know, you see me diversify and change. Then we have the DMX tribute, Rest in Peace, me and Hocus 4/5. All of that will be going to the proceedings to him, his family, and the whole Rough Riders. You know, I show people just the difference in the kind of style of music, and what I do is legendary.
I mean, it's definitely legendary. You really up there in the top, and I like your diversity because
Thank you.
you know a lot of OGs I feel can get stuck or whatever, and it's just so interesting because Jay-Z is an OG, but he still is in his lane, but still can make it happen.
Correct.
And I love music that has substance, that has to tell me, give me a message, tell me something. I want to feel your pain. I want to feel your happiness. I want to feel your struggles. I got to get a message out of it. And clearly you guys, you know, execute that very, very, very well.
Correct. Right now I'm at a point where I feel at peace in the music industry. I'm at a celestial level. You know, shout out to Jazzo. You know, I was just coming from Jazzo's video shoot. You know, rest in peace to Nipsey Hussle.
Big up.
You know, big up. You know, when you're around veterans and legends like that embrace you, and you're still, even though they look at me as OG, still a newcomer to these people that have already broke millions and millions of records, is the most amazing feeling in the world, you know?
So if you wasn't in the music industry, what are some of your other talents that you have that like people would be surprised about, or maybe they won't?
Oh, I'll probably be working for one of the biggest marketing firms and companies in the United States right now, because I've done everything from multi-international marketing to radio campaigns to advertisement to just everything from even door to door to business. I mean, I just know everything about business. I got fascinated into the world. I remember when I worked in Wall Street and I did corporate finance. When I worked in Donald Trump's building, I remember when I did cash advances.
Shout
I mean,
out to
I'm
Trump.
just one of those. I'm a GOAT, you know. As a Capricorn, I get into things and I fall in love and learn them fast, and then kind of just move on them and master them, you know.
Right. Well, outside of obviously your talent, what are some of the other hats that you wear? Are you a father? You know.
No, I'm not a father yet. You know, I don't have any children yet. You know, everybody always asks me. I don't have any children yet, but you know, I do try to teach my community. I do try to go around in Big Brother programs and peer mediation. You know, places like the workforce. You know, I do that. You know, shout out to Guns Down, Life Up. You know, we try to spread a positive message to them as an artist as much as I can. You know. The day I do become a father, though, I guarantee I'll be one of the number ones up there.
I know you're going to be the best.
That's a
know
fact.
You're going to be the best.
I love
you
the
know
kids.
What I'm saying? Especially if it's a girl. Woo.
Oh,
I know
yeah.
you're going to be the best.
You know, you might see me rapping in the booth for her.
Right?
Facts.
Like, yeah, go, daddy.
Go,
you know what I'm
daddy.
saying? But look, I appreciate that because a lot of people I've heard, I'm not going to mention no names, you know, they say that they're doing this rap thing and they just want to get to the bag and, you know, they feel like they shouldn't have to be like, you know, they feel like they don't have no obligation to the community. You know, how do you feel about that? Because in one aspect, I like to try to put myself in other people's shoes. I don't really like to judge that much. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
on one situation, I'm a rapper. I am supposed to control, the other person is supposed to control their child. You know what I mean? Because sometimes people complain about the substance that people are putting out. But at the end of the day, I'm not in your house. You have to censor what your child is watching. But I do understand that people need to be responsible in their community because you're asking people to pay to buy your stuff to support you, right? So it's like a give and take. I could be wrong, but that's just how I feel.
I'm gonna kind of give you a different synopsis that people sometimes don't look at, right?
Yeah.
We complain about everything that goes on in our everyday government, our struggles, on what goes on in our children's lives, right? Mm-hmm. But remember, if we don't set the prime example and watch for our actual children, we already know that the government is implanted against us. We have so many things that we see that's not working in our favor. So if we're not putting our part, right, how can we go and point a blissful finger without having a blissful ear? You understand? That's the first thing, you know. And I still respect all my adults to this day and age, and I'm a real OG. And this is why I laugh, because I hear from other people this gangster stuff and all these things, and I say, listen, what I hear synopsis from gangsters are different. Gangsters uplift people and respect the elderly and do things. Like you might catch me in my neighborhood, in my building, lifting up the bags for the old lady that lived next door to me. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. There's a lot of different things that I see that people portray so that way they could think it's part of being cool. I beg to differ. I mean, I'm always the one that's like, no, I'm from a different accolade and from the real sharp people that don't move that way.
Which is the right way to do
Which is
stuff.
the right way to move.
All right, that's the original way, so follow the plan. You know what I'm saying? Don't detour and try to be some different type of OG. Follow the plan that your ancestors set for you, and it's okay to be an OG and be a gentleman.
Correct.
It's okay to be an OG and take care of your community.
Correct. I'm not going to lie. Look, we speaking to gentlemen, you know, tomorrow I'll be performing in this beautiful masquerade ball, coming very gentleman-like for, you know, Diane and Killing right there for Red Velvet, you know.
It's nothing new to you, though. You do the bow tie.
So we do the bow tie thing. So, you know, remember, before you could call yourself, you know, a gangster or entertainer, have you ever been a gentleman first? Do you know how to be able to, you know, wine and dine and sit with the stars? You understand what I'm saying?
It's getting hot.
That's how I feel, because, you know, we're going to perform them all, but then after that, we're going to have a good old merry time.
That's right. Gentleman style.
Gentleman style.
That's right. You know what I'm saying? Still going to get your respect.
That's right.
Nothing lost. Nothing lost
you might
at
see
all.
the top hat thrown off. You know, I'm coming with the top hat.
Oh, man, I can't wait to see this.
The funny thing about it, and one key thing you said is, you know, one, being a gentleman. Like when we were growing up, we watched these gangster movies and everything.
Tell me about it.
And the mobsters were gentlemen.
Correct.
They were businessmen.
Men.
You know, they had a code of conduct. You know, these are real traits of real men that was standing up, doing something for their community. You know what I'm saying? So,
but they got it in if they needed to.
That doesn't get overlooked out here, because we're talking to a wide range of people.
Right.
From a lot of different demographics. So we want to make sure that y'all really, really understand what it takes to really be a pillar in your community.
I don't know what to say about that, guys, because, you know, I know there's a flip side to the OGs. Like, they give it in, you know, but that's the last resort, you know, when it comes to, you know, handling things the physical way, you know what I'm saying?
Correct.
But all the gangster movies that I've seen, they were gentlemen. That was portrayed without a shadow of a doubt, okay?
Correct.
The Italians, whatever, you know, our brothers on the east side, wherever, they've always been that way. And I don't understand. I don't know when it transitioned into what it is now. Well, you know what I mean? I have no idea.
Well, it transitioned. I make you laugh once you started seeing the skinny jeans and everybody, you know, thinking that they was the next rock star. You know what I'm saying? Because rock stars had their time, and people forget that. And I tell them all the time. But remember, shout out to Benny and everybody out. The real gangsters are always been here, right? But now it's coming back in style, because the fake and the gimmicks are being weeded out, and the real people in that 1% are left stuck, because those are the only ones that know how to migrate the business that you can't front for.
Right. So now I had kind of like I don't want to say a dispute, right? Like back in the 80s, 70s, 80s, you know, 90s, I feel like people didn't make as much money as they did before. And I said that I looked at, you know, the charts when how much Beyonce and them was making, just what, you know, touring and stuff like that. I'm like, damn, that's a lot of money. Do you feel that way? Do you feel like the artists and the entertainers make more money than they did than when it started out? I feel like some of the OGs got ripped off and they didn't get their due just as far as getting their rights or getting it, whatever material owned and all this other stuff. So is that really true? Because somebody said it's not.
Now, see, this is a great question that you asked here. Now, thank God that I'm self-owned, right? Because a lot of other people that are owned, how I say this, wouldn't be able to answer this for you the way I would. I feel that there were a lot of uneducated people at the time that signed unlawful contracts. That these bingo companies that were owned, I know because I interned at Universal at one time. I remember, like, literally. Okay, and when you're at these corporate meetings and you're reading these proceedings for entertainment law, you don't even realize that when you first enter in the building, right? As soon as you're there, they're already scrutinizing and already had a municipal plan, right, to be able to diagnose the amount of money that they have for that section for that time. So remember, you're just a part of that proceeding plan. Unless you have something that is extravagant to alter the course of that plan that will make them think, wait, this is lucrative and a more bigger situation and more opportunity for them, then you'll have to be part of that core plan. See, I was never part of that core plan, so I created my core plan, so I was able to come up. But I know others that were in that situation and stuck to what we call binding contracts. So even while these small companies were owned by other companies, once they got sold, the rights for those other artists and their masters were sold along with those companies. So while those were pertained by other people that were more intelligent and had more money, it made other people, you know, step down a plateau and not realize the decrease in revenue that they would create. So remember, as the artist, you always get the least amount of money. When you know it, it's actually the executive producer and the content creator and the visual director that make the most on the song.
Please
so you have to know that, and unless you're purchasing things the correct way, like exclusive rights to your beats or making actual agreements to it, you'll never receive it, because people forgot that basically 4 years ago, the performance right organizations stopped tracking, you know, how much money you make preferably, and you have to follow the other artist or the other producer and know their IPI number. So after streams come in, you can actually, you know, receive the money that you're owed from that revenue.
Yeah. Woo! And that was just 4 years.
And that was 4 years ago. And, you know, BMI and all these other performance rights organizations, you know, shout out to them. They don't inform you of this. When you sign up, it's just for you to be informed that you're signing up so you're protected at the time. But there's other things you have to go through, like, you know, putting your music through the Library of Congress. Like, shout out to Melly and all these other people. You know, I'm an actual executive producer. I own a record with Melly, like Seal, Library of Congress. Like, show them, like, oh, my God, he's only the executive producer, writer. He was the person that let us know how many beats per minute, like SoundScan called and verified that. They check, you know, they follow and look at your actually, you know, IPCN, UR registration number, all of that, you know.
I never will correlate music with the Library of Congress. Never. I didn't even see any correlation.
Well, remember,
until you just mentioned that.
We're part of the organization of authors, composers, authors, and publishers. So when you're a publisher and a publicist, you need to be able to know these things and then know the difference of a poor man's copy and filing with the actual, you know, gov itself.
See, I know he knows some stuff. Ooh, I know he knows some stuff. Anyway, what single do you got out now?
When you started talking about SoundScan,
correct,
with the BDS and all of the Nielsen's, like, I don't think that a lot of the brothers and sisters who are doing their music really understand the scope of how much you have to be involved in the business
side
of music.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? Because they look at social media, they're looking at views and followers and subscribers.
I have no idea.
Those are the biggest things that they're looking at, and they're not really looking at the fact that you can have your music with 10,000 DJs and really get the spin from those DJs, even if they're in a club or something, because you have to have your IPI, your BDS. It's another one, IMEI or something like that.
Yes, correct. Yeah. IMEI, your sound exchange. You know, that's why I tell them get the consultation.
Well, I was just about to say, you giving out too much, but it don't even matter, because at the end of the day, I know that there's so much more intel into just the little jewels that you guys are dropping just now. It has to be so much more. So, like, if I'm an artist, what assessment should I give myself? Like, what should I know I should have before I even come to you for a consultation? Like that, I got to know this is serious.
An electronic press kit.
Wow, that's it. come with that to the consultation, and you in there.
And
I thought you were gonna pay like $20,000, you know,
an
invest in
electronic
yourself.
press kit before I can
Okay.
before I can even read your bio or demographic and know who you are, because most people don't even understand when you engage with a record label, it's your A&R that sends your electronic press kit so the record label could contact you. You can't speak to the record label directly yourself, even if you're handsome or cute or if you dance in a dress, doesn't matter.
So you can't even speak to them.
No,
yourself?
most of the time the attention span in the record label is less than, actually not even 5 minutes. I'm not gonna lie. I've
So
seen
like,
people
okay,
walk
you don't
in.
know by.
I've seen people walk in the A&R's office. They listen. The consultation sits on for the first 30 seconds. If it doesn't gravitate towards the A&R, then you're walking out the door. They'll tell you, hi, we'll meet you. We'll contact you at our finest
man.
convenience. Thank you for coming.
That's a whole
I'm so
fact.
sorry. I don't
That
think
is
there's
a
any
whole
platform
fact.
out right now that just broke down everything that you've
All right,
broken
you
down.
want
in
us
the
to be
last
nice?
30
Look,
minutes.
for the House of Harlem, I show people.
Yo.
This is the best gem I could get for any artist right now. Go to www.live89fm.com. You spend more than $10 a day every day just hanging out. For $10, you can go there right now, upload your music, and get a free BBLS spin. Remember that Lazarus sent you.
House of Harlem TV. That was an exclusive. No, honestly, we not gonna even give them no more.
All right.
Really,
Yo.
it has to be a consultation.
A
Like,
gem,
really, honestly,
a gem on
Honestly.
top of a diamond on
on
top,
top of
a mountain,
triple down a diamond.
a mountain of
I
jewels.
mean, we're not playing people.
like
know,
that did no for real.
Stop
for real.
playing. Make sure you listen up. You
Rewind.
know, rewind selector.
I'll take notes.
You might have to listen to this a couple of times for it to
Whatever.
really resonate with your
serious.
spirit. If you built for this, be sure to get this
That's how I
consultation.
know I can't be no artist. I can't.
That's it.
I'll be crying every day. I go the loopholes I got. I be crying every day. I can't do it.
I've
I
learned,
really
please educate ourselves. Remember that, we are the chosen people and this is our art. Let's not let them take it from us.
I love him so much. So anyway, what single do you have out right now?
Oh, right now I have so many singles out, but the single I'll be performing, so that way y'all can know right now, I'll be performing, is called Block Party. But my latest single right now is called I'm Coming, with Corey Guns, produced by Cover. It's on all platforms right now.
Okay.
But I have a secret record that I'll be sending, to the House of Harlem, because Kia, my sister, and I gotta make sure we give her surprises.
Thank
So
you.
I'll be
I
sending her,
appreciate
the Fred the Godson tribute. It'll be on all platforms. She'll have it first,
man,
and then
shout
after that,
out.
I'll let her air it out and call her to the video when I come to do the video.
I'm
And rest in
so
peace to Fred
honored.
and his family and everybody.
Rest in peace
Yo.
to this
OTBM.
brother. Once
Facts,
again.
big ups. Rest in peace. Rest in power to all of the soldiers.
Yes.
All of our fallen soldiers
That hurts me.
out here. You know what I'm saying?
Something
we
is
will
wrong.
not forget you.
We won't.
We
Shout
won't.
out to D. Shout out to everyone.
Rest in peace, D. Y'all already know.
Yes, man. Black Rob.
Black
Shout
Rob.
out to this brother. Oh,
That's a
man.
gem we're gonna throw in here. Rest in peace, Black Raw. People don't even know. Me, him, and Cuban Link. That was the last performance that we all did in a secret location in Queens. I did a freestyle for Black Rob, and he gave me my flowers and told me, "You're one of the greats coming up." So rest in peace to Black Rob. I'm definitely gonna do a legendary freestyle
Please,
joint for
man.
him.
I
and
wanna
him.
be there.
He is one of the goats forever for me. You know what I mean? And I was just blessed to be around his presence. You know what I mean? Rest in peace
No
to him.
matter
at that,
what happened, we got to give the flowers to the greats of the greats. What is your process when you making your song? Do you have to listen to the beat first and then you kind of go from there, or vice versa?
I know this is gonna sound funny, and most artists probably don't say it, but I kind of have like a mental tablet and sheet in my mind. It doesn't matter whether the beat is playing or not. It's kind of like a rapid fire of an ammunition that just keeps going off. And I noticed that a lot of other artists get writer's block, and I don't.
You never had that before?
No,
What?
it doesn't happen to me. Like, we could try it now. I'll show you. It doesn't even matter.
Right.
Even if you make a subject now, rhyme to it, like it's kind of weird. It's like a photographic memory without having it and
I
wanting
think
it.
you have a high IQ. I think you like
Yeah.
one of them special childs. Like,
I
just,
mean, maybe, that's what it is. I think the Lord sent it from being Lazarus,
right. Wow. That no, honestly, I've come to realize in interviewing a lot of you brothers and sisters that people who rap are poets, right? But
Mm-hmm.
they have a high IQ, even like with Loaded. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Loaded,
Like,
my brother.
playing this chess.
I play chess, too.
We
That's
only
hot.
use a small percent of our brains.
Correct.
And so as a chess player, as a writer, you guys kind of use more than the average person.
Yeah.
So you have to have a high IQ. And that just brings me to like just this school system not really nurturing people who may appear to be boring, may appear to be a asshole and can't sit down, but they're not being challenged.
It's funny. I felt like when I was in the school system here, like they didn't really teach me much. That was funny. I got into my stuff. I got into problems, and then I came out and then got my GED. And then after I got my GED, after coming out of prison, being locked up, for a little while, and then I don't know, my life after having that small incarceration after that just told me I had to enhance myself as a African American man, and tell me, listen, I shouldn't be employed by anyone else. I should be able to be my own boss and CEO and do everything. And then on the road to entrepreneurship, believe it or not, afterwards, I started meeting other people, scholars, doctors that I met that told me the school system didn't actually work for me. What worked for me was my hustle and ambition to know what I would get after the school.
Let me tell you, this is the same story over and over. Super intelligent people are not being challenged, and those are the ones that always have this label as being the trouble people. But those are the super intelligent ones. And you are one because you have a high IQ, and I'm hoping that you can get into my peanut head and I can go into the studio with you one day.
Of course.
I just want to see your process. I really want to see your process because I love to be around intelligent people.
I have the Jay-Z process.
Yes.
I have the Jay-Z process. That's why I like to show
and Lil
people.
Wayne too.
It's the Lil Wayne process. Like I go in, you throw the beat on. I might take a few pulls of the Marley. And then after that, it's like, oh, he had the whole 24. Like,
right.
I didn't see him grab any pad. Like what
Nothing.
the hell? What just happened? And then what happens is sometimes our freestyle is the whole thing, right? And one take that afterwards I did it so great that I have to memorize how I did it right then and there. You know what I mean? Like it just happens right there like that.
You gotta have the memory behind that.
Yeah.
See, that's where I'm lost. The short term, I'm lost.
And that's crazy because
that's super intelligent.
Most artists, the prototypical standard is that an artist has to live and memorize the lyrics before they recite the lyrics, and yours is the other way around.
The other way around, correct.
Wow, I'm telling you,
that's a rare talent. I've been blessed to be around. Besides you, 1, 2, 3 other people that I know did that. You, Jay, KRS-One, and a brother that I grew up with that's family to me. We used to have a group. His name was MC Supreme.
Rest in peace.
Nice.
To
this brother,
peace, MC Supreme.
He used to. He's still alive now.
Okay. He's still alive. Okay.
He's still alive.
Not the other Supreme.
No,
okay.
No,
my bad. I'm so sorry.
And rest in peace to our brother Supreme.
Rest in peace to our brother Supreme. Yeah, that's what I thought you meant.
Yeah. Supreme team, shout out. And no, he was he's an up and coming artist. We used to have a group back in the day, but we used to sit and talk, and then he would go to sleep and wake up, and the song is done. No pen, no paper. That is a rare commodity in this game. To do it and be able to do it with an abundance of substance.
Well, you know me, when we on the special episode of House of Harlem, I'll bring in the studio and let them see.
We're going to have this cypher, guys. It's going to be so real. I promise you.
I can't wait for that.
I need a favor. I need everybody in this room. I need this cypher. We need to have that going because it's going to encourage the children in the community. It's going to get them right. I cannot wait for that. So your process is overall is just different. It's very rare. It's a gem. And, I definitely want to see that.
And I'm glad to show it.
Right. So do you feel like certain artists now, do you feel like just people are taking advantage of the game right now? Because a lot of people, they're coming in, they're using like autotones. They're not really having any substance. Do you feel like...
Nah. Unlike other people, I never feel that way. I feel like everybody's trying to find their own lane. Right. And too many people at the end of the day are gatekeepers in this industry. They've been holding the gate for so long that they can't see somebody else surpass them. So they start making excuses up when they hear other hot topics. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, remember, shout out to Jay-Z. He killed the death for auto-tune, right? When everybody loved T-Pain and the auto-tune.
Yes.
If you hear, auto-tune is back. I mean, like, people are using auto-tune again. Like, I don't want to hear it. Like, when you had the greatest ever kill something and then it still comes back, it goes to show you that every millennium there is a recycle that something is recreated and destined to happen.
And that's about it. And we need to leave the gatekeepers where they need to be.
Yeah, keep holding the gate. Y'all like the androids, you know what I mean? Just keep holding that shit on your back.
So basically, there's a lot of room for all type of artistry, no matter what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Correct. This is why I feel that I'm always gonna win, because unlike other gatekeepers that close doors, I'm about opening them. Right. You get what I'm saying? Right. And remember, you have to realize that other people are lazy. One thing about me, I outwork other people. You understand?
This is a hard-working guy. He's about to go somewhere else.
Yeah, about to go somewhere else after this. Like, it's no games with me. Sometimes you have to be able to know that you put things aside and do things that have to be done for your legacy to be paved. My legacy will be paved just by my work ethic alone. When I'm in the studio, you book 3 hours with me, we might do 15 songs. I'm not going to lie to you. You might be upset at me.
3 hours, you're going to get 15 songs out
there?
Yeah,
because usually I do a verse in 1 to 2 takes. I mean, that's really fast. So if you already have the chorus and open verse, like, prepare yourself. Damn. And if you didn't have your shit ahead of time, I might meatloaf you. Pause, no hobo. For those that don't know, you might get like batter rammed on the verse. Like, they'll tell you, like, oh shit, you got Laz on there, bro. There's some pressure on here. Like, I'm not joking. Like, he might come at you and be barbaric. So that's why I say that.
I can't wait to go in the studio with you.
Yeah, of course.
So let's talk about the clothing line. You know, what inspired you to, transition to that?
Oh.
Well, obviously at 9 you had your crew and y'all was already talking about merch. But
correct. Now, I got to give big props to Gorilla Tone, my big brother, and Mighty Thor from Terror Squad. Shout out Success Clothing and Mighty Thor from Terror Squad. I always had my stuff from my label, from Top Dawn, and the things I wanted to do. But then I started to create other ideas. Like, my last name is Martinez. I have this, clothing brand called this a Martinez thing for all the Martinezes around the world. Shout out my cousin with Martinez Auto Group. Holla at him if you want your exotic cars, or DM me, things like that. So I started to kind of become a brand ambassador because of my brother Tone. He gave me my first, brand ambassador with VE and be the first artist, sponsored by them. So I guess that kind of brung up more of the entrepreneur out of me, and wanting to create and being around him and seeing him like with them 2 hands as an actual owner and go, I own this. You understand what I'm saying? Forget calling somebody else. I'm going to show you I'm making it. You understand? That kind of made me look and say, wow, I want to get physical and down with my stuff. And shout out to him, Gorilla Tone.
You got your own swag, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right now, I see how you dress. And tomorrow, I'm taking pictures of him, right?
Of course, yeah. We're gonna do it up.
I'm taking pictures.
All the venue. Now, my thing was, I feel that he set off the spark that I already had in me. So that's why I feel like that. I feel like I had it in me, but sometimes there's that person that comes in that you see what they do and it illuminates you. And I felt like he made me just illuminate afterwards. Like, now you'll see all different kind of stuff. You might see me make a cross piece for his name brand or this, or things that I might get from my cousin, shout out to MG Styles, like I tell you, and different things. And I'm like that. I support a lot of, black-owned businesses and a lot of self-made businesses and self-entrepreneurs with clothing besides just a brand, because I want the same support.
I definitely want to collaborate with you because I see us doing something for the children.
Let's do it.
Because me personally, and I'm sorry, parents, but for me, I'm never going to tell any child in my community to go out and spend. School is very important. If you can make it to college and get your bachelor's or your associate's is good. But me, I'm always going to tell children the real, that everything revolves around commerce. Everything revolves around business in this world.
Of
course.
Nothing.
I don't care if you're a doctor. The doctor always want to seek his own malpractice. If you're a lawyer, the lawyer always want to seek their own law firm because that's business.
Of course. All right? That goes along with my sponsorships. Like, shout out my sister Jamila Rose.
Shout out to Jamila.
Yeah, she has a sponsorship where she's doing things for the kids in her store that's opening up in Brooklyn. I'll be working with her. My other cousin Linda Martinez, New York, working with Team Fat Joe. Shout out Don Florio. My artist Young Maroc, international. All of them are doing things for the kids. These are all successful entrepreneur women that are giving empowerment towards the community, and I have different ties with them, for different things that I do, and that's because I told you I am a pillar in my community.
You are an absolute pillar, a man of all trades. And definitely, you do them well.
Thank you.
I appreciate you with that. And I'm
definitely
going to see your swag. But I don't want to hold you too long because I definitely want to get you back. I want to come to where you're at and go in the studio because I want to talk a little bit more about politics. You're really good into politics. I want to talk more about that, but I just want to end this here. I want you to give your social media handle.
Definitely.
All the the great things that you have coming up. And once again, Red Velvet Entertainment will be having the party of the century. And guess who? My brother Lazarus will be performing. Is going to be hot along with so many other artists. All right, we're not gonna give y'all everything.
We're gonna kill that stage.
We're gonna kill it. You know what I'm saying?
But y'all can find me at my website first, www.topdonempire.com. On all social media is Lazarus the Top Don. I'll spell it for those that always ask me. LAZARIS. The word no ebonics, but rest in peace to Big L, and then Top Don. You already know the straight regular spelling. You'll find that on all platforms.
Yes, thank you, man. We appreciate you. We can't wait to have you back, and we can't wait to follow you on your endeavors. We definitely
already know.
I wish you nothing but great health and great success.
And same here, and bless the House of Harlem.
Yes, House of Harlem TV.